Welcome to the Queensland State Netball Centre and the HART Sapphire series for round 7, the third game this weekend between the Bond University Bull Sharks and the QUT Wildcats. This is the third game of the weekend, and I'm here in commentary tonight with Troy Pollock from the Ipswich Jets. Welcome, Troy.
Thank you.
Your girls had a good win just earlier on against the Thunder.
Yes, we did. They worked well through the court to come away with a good win. Put all the processes into place that their coach had been working on all week, so it's great news.
Absolutely. We've got another interesting game coming up between the Wildcats and the Bull Sharks. Bull Sharks probably one of our youngest teams in the competition, and the Wildcats very successful, currently sitting on third position, and if they get a win here today, they'll also be a big threat to the top two teams there, being the Ipswich Jets and the Cougars. The Cougars this weekend having their bye round. So the girls just getting ready for the beginning of the game. And we'll check out their team lists. Now with QUT Wildcats, we've got goal shooter Alicia Adams-Tahara, Riley Batcheldor, Lisa Maimai, Halida Verve, Rachel Fa'anana, Danielle Taylor, and Lenora Misa, goalkeeper, who's come back from the World Cup after playing for Samoa and having a brilliant tournament over there. So to see her once again. The Bond University Bull Sharks, we've got goal shooter Siggy Berger, who's also come across from the South African team in the World Cup. Leah Pugh, Riley Burns, Jada Gaffer in centre. Kristen Oxenson gets a start in wing defence today. And then we've got Jonte Stridham and Shanae Grant. So I'm personally very much looking forward to seeing Siggy Berger and Lenora Misa on court today, and seeing how they're going back after the World Cup, after that great experience over there. Of course, it's all midway through the season, so it's a long time to have away from the teams, but it'll be interesting to see how they fit back in this afternoon.
Interesting to see how they work as a team at such a late stage. Yeah,
absolutely. I think we have seen that throughout the season during many of the Suncorp Super Netball players from the Sunshine Coast Lightning and the Queensland Firebirds joining the teams in the Sapphire series, and some of them being quite successful and then others struggling a bit. But it'll be interesting to see what happens today. Our umpires onto the court. We've got Jess Lakeman and Amber Lawrence, both Downey Park umpires. I saw them yesterday down at the court, so shout out to Downey Park as we start the centre pass. And the Wildcats are looking straight into their goal shooter Adams, who's been one of the most prolific shooters, of her and Lucy Benjamin, and Amy Somerville leading the point scoring. It's always nice having such a tall post under there as an option.
It's all to Wildcats. Back to the centre now. Jada Gaffer starting.
And straight into Ziggy Berger, and she sinks her first goal of the Sapphire series. So that's a nice little confidence boost for the new team, being with her new team. This matchup between Oxenford and Maimai will be quite interesting too.
Yeah, it will. The old incumbent versus new and upcoming.
So Bull Sharks.
Great turnover by Vive. She's always out there hunting, isn't she?
A nice tip. And Grant gets the ball.
Turnover again. See what the Wildcats can do with it this time.
So just shaking out a couple of cobwebs. You normally see this typically early on. A few turnovers, few tips.
Oh, great goal to Bachelor Door. She's been shooting so well for such a young girl.
I believe part of the under-19s Australian team, Riley Batcheldor. She has spent some time down at the AAS as well. So Wildcats out to a 4-1 lead.
Struggling a bit through the middle there. Wildcats have got great defence lineup. Their body-on-body pressure is fantastic.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how these young girls do muscle up to that defensive pressure. Good race through by Mai. Doing a lot of couple of passes, gets to the circle edge and straight into Adams. Makes it easy when you're on that circle edge to get into a shooter like that, because Grant and Stradum have had a good season so far in defence as well.
It's a good mark to have, isn't it? Someone as tall as that to just pop it up into.
So Pugh just looking at Siggy Berger there a couple of times, but just not having the confidence to pass into her, and eventually gets there via Gaffer, finding the backspace, and she sinks that goal. So 2 from 2 by Siggy Berger. Grant trying to get around Adams.
Great defence.
Yeah, Gaffer just making it difficult to have any vision there for Mai. So good defensive pressure once again, just hindering on that right-hand side. Ball going down the sideline. Some good patience there by the Bull Sharks though. Never the best to be on the sideline, obviously.
Good front position.
And breaking call on the wing defence. Verve just getting stuck on the body. Oh, unlucky.
Ooh.
Just perhaps a stepping call there.
Goes to show that even those at the top can make those simple errors, doesn't it?
Absolutely. And the Cats having no troubles getting down the court quickly.
No, not at all.
Oh, great vision by Batcheldor, but Sinead Grant picking it up. I was counting my chickens before they hatched then. Quick pick up again by the Wildcats.
Oh, look at that. Open. Goal shooter left open.
Nice defense. Like, I don't mind seeing that defensive work by their goal defender or keeper coming out to really challenge those passes sometimes. Siggy Berger getting caught on the contact there. Be interesting to see both internationals, Lenora Misa and Siggy Berger, up against each other. So
great goal by Batcheldor.
So it's quick ball speed so far by the Wildcats.
Bit of confusion over there. Who's hit the ball out?
Yeah, and Amber Lawrence just checking with Jess Lakeman. I do like that when the you see the umpires work as a team. If there's any confusion, so. And just bouncing off the wing attack by the Bull Sharks. So the Wildcats getting the ball back. Through the fingers, a bit of slippery fingers so far. The Bull Sharks will be looking to convert this. Currently down by 6 goals. They definitely need to ensure that they have a strong start, because if they allow the Wildcats to get away, it's going to be a long, tough battle.
It is, it is.
So Berger just clarifying what she's doing, just a little bit confused, getting stuck on the body of Lenora Misa.
Berger just going over to the coach for some clarification to see what's going wrong with her game so far, which is probably a good thing to do.
Yeah, well, getting caught on a couple of contact penalties. And lucky there, getting called the possession call.
There we go.
Better connection by Pugh and Berger. It's going to take a little bit of time for that connection between the goal attack and goal shooter to start working. The Bull Sharks do have a couple of options on the bench, with Olivia Dykstra there as well, who's a young shooter who's been having a great season so far. Oh, an excellent release by Burns into Berger.
Great feed, yeah.
And those are the types of feeds that'll give a bit of confidence to Berg's game too. 2 players going for the ball there. So a bit of a roll here by the Bull Sharks.
Ooh.
An overcooked pass by Gaffer.
We just need the Burns to get a little bit more involved there up the sideline, help them out a bit.
It's just so easy into the Wildcat circle at the moment. There's been a few of those long passes from almost the transverse line into Batcheldor and to Adams.
Their shooters have been playing well all season, haven't they? It's I think with the Wildcats, I think the Jags really need to work on cutting the ball off in that centre third. Yeah, not letting it get down there, because once it's there, it's in. Oh, there's a spoke.
Well, the capabilities are there. I mean, Kristen Oxen and Jada Gaffer, they're great defensive players. So
they've got the ability to cut it off. They'd know what they've got to do.
And the coach for the Bull Sharks, Cheryl Burns, she's been known this season to make quite frequent changes to her lineup with the rolling subs. So I won't be surprised, and as I say that, Stridham has done the rolling substitution with, looks like it's Abigail Houston. So straight on the court, straight out of play. So quick goal again for the Wildcats, and 13-6, just when the Bull Sharks look to be making an inroad into that lead. Quick release there by Burns.
That's it. She needs to get more involved like that. It makes such a difference to the shooters, doesn't it? That was a lot more fluent and easy.
Siggy Berger just wasn't quite expecting it. Good circle edge position there by Mai. And strong ball into Adams.
Seems effortless, doesn't it?
So good defensive pressure.
Great feed, great vision.
Yeah, just holding off till that 3rd second to allow Pugh to open up. And now with the throw in. Siggy Berger double teamed. Great pass off by Pugh.
Great work.
Just getting Misa off the body, and we've got our first Sapphire Series short break here. 14-8 to the Wildcats with 3 minutes 38.
They're still in striking distance, aren't they? They're not...
Yeah, well, I think with, 3.5 minutes left to play, that's probably what the conversation is about. They've had those opportunities. They've had some turnovers. And it's just making an inroad into the scoreboard now and hopefully getting nice and close at the end of the first quarter.
It's like we've got some changes happening here. Oxenford's going to centre.
Yeah, well, as I said, Cheryl Burns has made lots of changes to this squad. She's not afraid to use those rolling subs, call the timeouts, and change things up. And it makes it interesting for defenders and teams that they come up again to face those changes throughout a game.
Yeah, it certainly does. Looks like Peter Coles might be hitting the court. Jodie Gaffer doesn't seem to be on, so we'll see how this combination works for them. Any changes for Wildcats? No.
Well, if it's not break, why fix it?
That's exactly right.
So Siggy Berger remains on the court and Leah Pugh. Kristen Oxenford does come into centre. And yes, Sarah Coles into wing defence. Sorry, Peter Coles comes into wing defence. I don't think we've seen her play too much yet in this season.
She's played a few.
Right.
I think she started out the first week in Ruby and then she's stepped up since then. Which is great with the way our squads work, that we can do that now.
Yeah, bringing players up from Ruby and into Sapphire.
Rewarding those who have played really hard and worked hard to polish their game. See, that was well done.
Yeah, but nice feed into finding Siggy Berger there. She does hold very well under the post there, so...
There's a considerable height difference there, isn't there?
Yeah, well, at both ends.
To be exploited, yeah. Yeah.
And a great shot there by Riley Batcherville. So just having to go back there, the Bull Sharks. Wanting to maintain that patience, not give over ball. And I guess Kristen Oxenford can bring that as the captain. Control the speed of the play a little bit.
Ooh, she nearly got that ball. Needs a little bit more height.
Yeah, Berger just indicating to Burns that she wants a little bit more.
Lenora's going to pull them off if they keep coming in at that height.
Well, I remember one of Lenora's best games in the World Cup was up against the 2 metre tall shooter from Sri Lanka, and she had about 14 intercepts that game. So she's more than capable to get that vertical leap happening and pull off some of those intercepts. So something to be mindful of. Contact.
Well read by Grant.
Yeah, she's got some nice footwork, Grant. So the capability to pick off some of those feeds is well within her ability. Nice long ball down there by Oxford. They're not afraid to play these sideline balls, are they?
Oh, beautiful feed. Oxford's made an impact into that circle at the moment she's come on, hasn't she?
There's just a change in umpiring, so Amber Lawrence just coming on with an injury, unfortunately. So Kim Foreman onto the court to replace her. Hopefully she's all right.
Here we go. It's back to 4.
So this is what the Bull Sharks wanted. Just to keep it nice and close coming into the end of the first quarter. Unlucky Houston getting the defensive contact there.
She's had a bit of impact since she's come on, Houston, hasn't she?
Yeah, well, she has made that. Just overcooked Burns, looking for the quick play. but unable to make it happen. So the Wildcats lead the Bull Sharks 18-13. So it could have been much more than that. So
It could have. It threatened, didn't it, early, but they pulled it back, which has been great.
So yeah, good use of the timeout there by Burns just to kind of collect her team together and keep it within 5. And they'll definitely be wanting to keep it close early on. So as the teams take a quick break, we'll also take a drink and we'll be back soon for the second quarter here at the Queensland State Netball Centre. So here we are getting ready for the second quarter. The QUT Wildcats 15 over the Bond University Bull Sharks. So, Troy, what do you think that...
I'm just looking for changes. It looks like they've both gone on with exactly the same team, same lineup as what they left with. So, let's see how this goes for them.
Well, the Bull Sharks finished quite strong in that second quarter.
Yeah.
I mean, wouldn't be surprised if changes are made throughout this quarter, but it's good to see some of those connections remain the same, and they get the turnover early on.
They do. They've come out ready to play by the look of them, so hopefully it'll be a good quarter.
And unlucky, just a replay ball there.
Yeah.
What do you think the key messages will be for the Bull Sharks here to rein in this 5-goal lead?
Probably just to be patient and to capitalise on those opportunities. You know, there's been a bit of loose ball out there, hasn't there? And I think if they tighten that up, I think they can be well within the match. Just be patient.
So high ball into Berger. Good hold by her. I think that was off the post.
A real battle going on between those two there, isn't there? I don't know who's winning the battle yet.
No, I think it was close. I think Misa probably had the upper hand earlier on, but Siggy Berger's definitely come into the game a bit, and Burns, Pugh and Oxenford have been able to find her with a little bit more ease. no mistake by Bachador from that distance, particularly with the defender out of play.
Oxford's experience and speed at centre is made a great difference to the Jags attack. Jags.
Yeah, the Bull Sharks,
the Bull Sharks.
after their new name with the Sapphire
it's really
series.
Really hard to get used to these new names, isn't it?
So 20-15, 12 minutes into the quarter. So maintaining that 5-goal difference so far. Oh, great tip there by Bachador.
She read that well, didn't she?
Yeah, and absolutely just ran through it as well. So the ball goes their way. As I always say, great lesson. And as I
great
say,
hands by Burns.
Great lesson for all attackers to really get on the defence there and put the pressure on, because those defensive turnovers come. A bit like ping pong at the moment, a few tips, touches and turnovers across the court. Great feed by Burns.
Bull Sharks working really hard for that goal, but they managed to convert, which is good to see.
Oh, and an overcooked pass into the corner. Verve unable to keep her hands on it. So patient play.
Oh, no one free in there. Very lucky to come off with that one.
Over about 3 defenders, and then Oxenford picks it up in the mush of
beautiful goal.
Wildcats. So it's important now for the Bull Sharks to convert this with their centre pass. Quite often teams are good at getting that turnover, sinking the goal, but it's the next centre pass which is so important.
Oh, great. Great pass then from goal attack to goal shooter.
Yeah, nice little deception. She goes up to appear to take the shot, brings the defender off, and then able to find Berger.
Oh.
Possession called, unlucky. Good contest.
What does your umpiring skills tell you there?
Look, I'll always back my umpires. So good call by Foreman, definitely. Sometimes it's always just that first player that gets their hands to the ball. Back in the day, here we go. Yeah, I think it might have been the front position by Bachador that allowed her to take that, unfortunately. Back in the day.
It always looks so nice to see a defence come through and take a pass ball like that I think everybody wants to reward the defence player.
Yes, that's right.
Seamless, easy goal there. And timeout called by the Wildcats.
Yeah, well, good pressure by the Bond University Bull Sharks to kind of maybe force this timeout. I mean, it's back to 22-19 within 3 goals. The Bull Sharks do lead the quarter 6-4. So it's been a bit of a shooting fest so far this quarter too, with all shooters shooting at 100%. So it's good to see. They've definitely making the Wildcats work hard for it this quarter. So
that's one thing that I've noticed in this competition. It's stepped up, hasn't it? The shooters' percentages have been excellent.
Yeah, they. I think it's given that opportunity to shoot under pressure and, you know, put those shots up, and, you know, we're seeing like great shooting stats by people like Amy Somerville and Lucy Benjamin, but, you know, Alicia Adams, but, you know, it's those younger players like Riley Bachador and Olivia Dykstra. They've all really stepped up and done some great work. So, you know, we saw Charlie Bell in the earlier game for the Ipswich Jets. She's been shooting fantastically.
She's been just getting blooded enough, I think, that she's building each week in confidence, and lovely young girl who has so much respect for those older girls. and she oozes it with them, and so therefore she's fitting in really well, which I've noticed with Bachelor Door too. She's fitting in really well with those older players, so it's probably the same sort of combination going on there, which is great to see. It's great to see the older ones teaching the younger ones the craft, isn't it?
Yeah, and we were talking just before the live stream started here that, you know, there's lots of great shooters on the Ruby games as well, and getting their opportunities to come onto the Sapphire court. So the Bull Sharks with the turnover here, so that's not how the Wildcats would have loved to have started their timeout. Nice fake by Pugh and refeed with Oxenford behind her.
And the goal goes in. It's back to 2.
Yeah, tightening it up.
Yep, they certainly are. Great game.
Excellent to see by the Bull Sharks. I always felt like they've had the potential this season. It's just about putting it together for 60 minutes. And that feed into Siggy Berger is...
So Gaffer's come on at wing attack and Burns has gone off. So they've just made that little alteration and...
interesting choice there, I guess.
Aldora's come on at goal defence for the Wildcats too. So they've made another change there. Peter Cole's picking up a loose ball there. She's made a big difference since she's come on. Bit of speed and...
Great work down the court too in attack.
Yeah. 3-second call, that's a bit...
Yeah, with 1 goal in it, the benches are getting very excited here, as they
really
should
getting
be.
involved, aren't they?
Lots to play for.
Some serious faces on the coaches over there on the bench.
So Burns back on at wing attack, so potentially just maybe getting some strapping redone or a bit of a rub down or something. Unlucky fumble. Good contest there by Oxenford, just...
Always putting a body on the line, isn't she? Always going for everything.
Umpire just telling the centre Oxenford to adjust her distance. So the Wildcats take it out to 3 again with the centre pass. The quarter time score sits at 8-6 to the Bull Sharks. Oh,
great touch.
Yeah, getting a hand in there, but just too close.
Great goal under pressure.
I think that's the quality of Riley Batchelor. Like, she's a bit of an ice queen out there. She doesn't really crack too much. So this will even up the quarter time score with 5 minutes to go. So
it's back out, yes.
Wildcats all have played well out of that timeout. Keshia Grant on at wing attack for the Wildcats. She's a little pocket rocket up against Coles, matching her for height and speed. So those changes probably making that impact for the Wildcats at the moment.
Yeah, that bit more speed coming into the attack end. That's the first goal for a while for the Bull Sharks.
Yeah, long time between shots and goals there, so well needed. 5 goals the difference.
As we see a mistake by the Wildcats. See if the Bull Sharks can capitalise on this one.
Good defensive pressure by the Wildcats. Grant just getting called for contact. I think it's been good to see as Misa takes one of those intercepts.
Can't afford to have those cross-court high balls around her, can you?
It's been really good to see the Bull Sharks muscle up to the Wildcats today, I think, because the Wildcats can have great strength in that defensive pressure, but the Bull Sharks have been able to kind of really muscle up well against them, and they're willing to take those balls nice and strong. Siggyberger a long way from home. Bachelor getting called for the obstruction.
I just noticed Gaffer's back on again and Burns is off, so it's a bit of
yeah, a bit of
they're rolling on and off, aren't they?
They keep rolling.
Siggyberger.
Yeah, an important goal there by Berger, just to keep them within striking range. So
they're quite even this quarter, so it's interesting to see how these last 2 minutes play out and who will get the points for this quarter. I'm sure both coaches are well aware of it.
Quarter time score is 10 goals apiece. Oh, Bachelor misses a shot, just as I call her the Ice Queen. Good pressure there. Strong arms over pressure by Bachelor, but the crumbs were picked up by Pugh.
Pugh was very brave there, going for that with 3 Wildcats defenders.
Well, that's what needs to happen against these girls.
It is, yes. Great goal.
Strong take, and they get the centre pass now, so an important conversion opportunity for the Bond University Bull Sharks. They lead the quarter by 1. Definitely make things interesting if they play offside called. Gaffer not happy.
No.
Contact. So Bull Sharks defensive pressure needs to be strong here. They don't want to give an opportunity to the Wildcats to take this quarter. Their centre pass comes after this. Big step in by Adams. So it's a Wildcat centre pass. Opportunity for them to take the quarter with this goal. 25 seconds remaining. Great strong take by Verve. Adams, huge offensive rebound there. Just when the Wildcats needed it.
Interesting to see here. They've got 7 seconds. Why would they?
Umpire holding time. They need this. Yeah, Jess Lakeman just calling for and advancing the penalty. Unable to convert, so the Wildcats win that quarter by 1. Disappointing for the Bull Sharks, because they got in within a couple of goals there midway through that term. So
it just goes to show the damage that Wildcats can do if you don't play cautiously around them and you throw too many high balls out there, doesn't it?
And I think a really good, really good taking of the timeout there by Paula Stewart there, just in that midway point, just to really kind of slow the pace, make a couple changes, and that really making the difference there. So great job. 6 goals, the difference for the Wildcats over the Bull Sharks here at halftime. We'll take a break with the players and enjoy a bit of a dance break by the girls from Underwood Park. We'll see you back for the third quarter shortly. Welcome back to the second half of the HART Queensland Sapphire series at the Queensland State Netball Centre between the QUT Wildcats and the Bond University Bull Sharks. Third quarter is underway.
Okay, so we see Burns come on at goal attack. So there's been a change in that role. Wildcats seem to be exactly the same as before.
Yeah, well, they made some
Quick
good
goal.
changes in that timeout.
Oh, beautiful pass there from Gaffer to Oxenford.
Burns sinks her first goal, which is good to see. The shooting percentage for the Bond University Bull Sharks over at 92% for the first half, so
Great
really
defence
strong.
there. So that was the weakness in the first quarter, wasn't it? And they seem to have tightened up there.
Yeah, so it'll be important to convert this for the Bull Sharks, only converting 54% of their turnovers, so definitely need it. And good positional change, bringing Burns into goal shooter so far.
I've actually seen her play there a couple of times this season, and she's played quite well when she's come on.
Dwala just getting called for contact underneath the post there by Sigurberger.
Berger's getting used to it more and more, isn't she? And the girls around her, so...
Yeah, it didn't take long for her to settle in, which is so good to see. And she's a strong presence on that court. Like, if you hear the voice in the live stream, she's the one that's yelling from that end. So she's given that support to her defenders down that other end.
And there we go, we see a miss. We don't see many of them coming from the Wildcat shooters.
No, and the Bull Sharks must make the most of this opportunity. Oh, an overcooked pass there by Houston. Gaffer is tall, just unable to get that tool up. Good defensive pressure there by Berger. Just Hamisa having to make a couple of different cuts and drives. Getting called for contact. Straight down the centre corridor onto the edge of the circle there by Grant. Good work. Oh, long bomb.
It was there to be taken.
Probably a little bit ambitious just with Misa on Berger. Oh,
beautiful.
Oxenford.
Beautiful Oxenford.
Great elevation, just unable to just touch it out. And overcooked pass, so Bull Sharks back in possession.
They're happening for both teams, aren't they?
So players just needing to settle here early in this third quarter. Bull Sharks, if they can make an impact here and get close, could set up for a very interesting fourth quarter. Burns misses one underneath. Wildcats defenders unable to...
Hands everywhere in there.
Oh, Oxenford just unwilling to let that go. Paying potentially a little bit too much respect to those defenders. Good work and good vision there by Verve into Adams. Big swing. Grant having to fake a couple of times. Finds Adams in the backspace. Strong drive by Burns.
She's playing the front of the circle well, isn't she? Using all that space at the front that Siggy seems to, she plays more of a baseline position, doesn't she?
Yes, tries to hold strong right on that underneath the post, which does give the space to Burns, to use the circle.
She's using it quite well.
So quarters time, score 5-4 to the Bull Sharks, but the Wildcats get the turnover.
It's been a real tussle between Coles and Grant came off on top that time.
Yeah, it's a nice little competition. Both relatively small girls, but obviously have some awesome speed to them as well. Oh, an excellent positioning by Houston, getting the tip and the turnover. Quickly down the court.
They seem to be double teaming Berger and leaving Burns to...
Yeah.
And Burns is playing that role well.
Oh, good vision by Bachelor. Grant with the head down.
Yep.
And with that one-on-one, you'd back Adams most
every
of the time. Every time, most of the time, all the time.
It's great hands by Burns there. Not so well.
And as we say it slips through. Gaffer just getting called for contact at the top of the circle there.
Taylor's on at wing defence. The Wildcats.
There's a replay ball there by Verde. How have you found the rolling subs, Troy, during the Sapphire series? Are you a fan?
It's been an interesting concept. I actually don't mind it. I actually think it's great. The girls just have to get used to the fact that it's here, and the rolling subs are not necessarily used because someone's playing poorly. It's for matchups, and it's great to see the tactical play of the coaches and how they implement that. So. And obviously some of them are implementing it better than others, and some have got more faith in it than others. But I think it's a great concept. I think it's fantastic. It doesn't stop the flow of the game, with injuries and all of that sort of thing.
Yeah, and definitely shows the fitness of these women out on the court, I think, when, there's not as many stoppages and they have to play out those 15 minutes.
Fantastic. You barely see a call for an injury these days.
Yeah.
They just roll on and off. It's great.
So some really good pressure here by the Bull Sharks. But the patient play of the Wildcats, they haven't been sucked into giving away any turnovers.
The score's just staying the same, isn't it? It's the first quarter is the only difference at the moment.
Yeah, it's really classic netball at the moment, which is good to see. Shooters really standing up. Oh, Misa almost gets the block. Such a difficult thing to pull off that block. To get up.
Timing.
Yes. Throw in called for the Wildcats, for the Bull Sharks. So Bull Sharks lead the quarter 9-7. Long ball, good vision by Coles. Great hold by Berger.
And they pull back another one.
Within 3 now, and they lead the quarter by 3. Oxenford just calling for calm. Oh, and that's probably not what she meant.
No. Been a couple of those that have been a little bit costly, haven't they? Oxyfin's playing a great role at centre,
Yeah.
a great captain's role.
And she is the, I guess, the backbone of this team. I mean, excellent goal there by Bachador. She's the backbone of this team. They are young girls, and she's the one that can control some of that pace and really give them the confidence they need.
Beautiful work by Grant. She didn't pull it off, but she...
Bachador's really come into the game in this last 5 minutes or so, just taking a few shots. Contest called down that end, good to see. So Bull Sharks continue to lead. Breaking call, Coach Killer.
They are Coach Killers, aren't they? I think they're everyone killers, not just Coach Killers.
Yeah. Good pressure here by the Wildcats. But patient play by the Bull Sharks. Oh, Misa! Throw-in call. She had to hug the post
Berger's
there.
looking around.
Yeah, I don't
Bench.
think she was off.
Oh, she doesn't know what's going on.
Bit of ping pong happening at the moment on the court. Oh, nice fake there by Burns. She's throwing a few tricks out, isn't she?
She's quite a strong shooter. She tends to pass it off a lot, but she needs to have confidence in herself because she does well when she goes to the post. Ooh.
Yeah.
Berger hits the deck and up again she goes.
Long way down for Berger.
There's a real tussle going on there, isn't there?
Yeah, that circle's getting very interesting.
Trying to show who's the boss in there, I think.
Which international deserves who comes out on top. But it's really that goal attack, goal defence. That's a role that's very interesting as well. And kudos to those feeders, Oxford.
Back to two again.
So Bull Sharks, what can they do here? When they got close last quarter, they just fell away. So can they withstand this pressure? And they've got the turnover. Unlucky. An overcooked pass by Coles. Fa'anana back on court.
Great pressure from Wildcats there. 2 minutes to go.
Another rolling sub in the goal defence as well. Tuala comes off.
The defensive pressure in this competition has really picked up this year, hasn't it? There's been a lot of focus on the attack defence.
And it's really good to see that full court pressure. And I think it makes the jobs of the goalkeeper and goal defence just that little bit easier. It makes those shooters have to work a bit harder.
Beautiful ball in. Berger finishes it off to go back to two again. My goes, whatever you can do, I can do better. Strong pass into Bachador. Great defensive pressure here. Grant just getting called on the body. Pass off to Adams and
so Bull Sharks lead the quarter 14-11. 3 goals in it. They'd be happy to convert this, playing patiently.
Just working hard to get it over that transverse line, aren't they, and into their shooters.
Oh, Nisard just getting caught in that back space.
Burns is free over the back there a lot of the time, isn't she?
So it hands over pressure by the defenders on the circle edge. It's just making it hard to get that pass off. Oh, it's dribbling out. Unlucky. 15 seconds left. Oh, great work by Burns and Berger. That was fantastic.
Some fine footwork, wasn't there?
3 seconds, they'll need to look in. And it doesn't happen. Well,
Wildcats took their centre pass, so it's back to Bull Sharks, and there's only two
goals in it. Absolutely, they win that quarter 15-11, so
they walk away with the 2 points for that quarter.
They've really put themselves in the match, I think, and they've really given themselves a great opportunity for an interesting last quarter. So I guess the question will be whether they can stick with the Wildcats in that last quarter, because they have shown some awesome play for 3 quarters. Can they withstand the pressure and the excitement for 4 quarters? So as we salivate waiting for this 4th quarter, we'll take a quick break in preparation here at the Queensland State Netball Centre. Wildcats lead the Bull Sharks 41 goals to 39. Here we are for the 4th quarter of the QT Wildcats against the Sharks, and the Sharks have the first centre pass. Opportunity to bring the scoreline within 1. Did see there at 3-quarter time the Wildcats just having a chat with the umpires about some of the contest happening in the circle. And Cole's picking up a ball. So
great read.
Yeah.
Great pick up.
So continuing that excitement from the end of the 3rd quarter.
Another hell ball.
Unlucky by Oxenford.
Defense has been fantastic.
Yeah, that transition from attack into defence for the Wildcats was great in that passage.
Only 1 goal in the game.
So Wildcats potentially have a little bit more experience in these types of situations. So you'd expect them to have more of the calm heads. Contact or obstruction called on both the attackers then over a 3rd. Unlucky. So Bull Sharks just need to keep a lid on their excitement here when they get those turnovers. Oh, Bacheldor missing from range.
Think she didn't even go in after that. She thought it was in, didn't she? She normally gets them all. Don't miss.
Yeah, and probably just an unlucky deflection off the post there, straight into Houston's hands. Ah, great pickup by Taylor. Excellent read. Patient play by Oxenford. Just struggling. No one really in the circle there at the moment. Good feed into Siggy Berger. She's been impressive, Siggy Berger, so far, hasn't she?
Yeah, she has. She's definitely probably winning a little bit in that circle at the moment. She's really picked up as the game's progressed.
Oh, just as we give her the kudos, the contact call. So Wildcats had the opportunity to take the lead there.
Using her body to push off a player. Oh.
Burns gets her hands on it.
She's like a thief in the night at times, Peter Coles, if she's on a game.
Yeah, she's played very well. And the Bull Sharks bench very excited with this opportunity to go ahead.
Coach has rewarded her. She didn't start the game, but when she came on and played well, she's left her out there.
So time held just to mop up. Plays catch.
Scores even.
Yeah.
11 and a half minutes to go. Great game to finish the week off on a Sunday evening.
Absolutely. This is probably what the Sharks really need to get their season really off and running, because, you know, they've shown a lot of potential in their first few games. And, I mean, we're going into the second half of the season after this weekend, as teams start to play each other a second time in the competition. Going to say what a bullet pass it was for Oxenford, but well read there by Taylor.
Yeah.
This defensive pressure just making it really challenging. The Bull Sharks trying to remain patient. They probably just need a little bit more dynamic option towards the ball.
Very lucky there.
Yeah, Misa read that.
Yep. So they just went up with strong hands and took it.
I mean, we've been very commending of Burns. She probably just needs to come into it a little bit more again now and put a few more shots up to get those defenders off Siggy Berger. So no one at home for the Bull Sharks, having to play the ball around. But good patience. Burns finds Berger.
Berger finishes it off for them again to go up by one. Waiting till the last quarter to hit the lead.
Oh, Coles almost gets around the body. Swing ball by Bacheldor. Good triangle to open up Adams. So Wildcats probably just having a little easier access into their shooters still, whereas the Bull Sharks are being the ones that are having to pass the ball around.
They're working a lot harder, they're Bull Sharks, aren't they? But they seem to be being patient, which is...
It's really good to see. The question will be whether they can maintain that for the last 9 minutes, and particularly when it gets tight in the last couple of minutes.
Yeah, it's just those loose passes, isn't it? Who's going to throw them and who isn't?
Good use of the swing ball there by Wildcats. Strong defensive pressure by Houston and by Grant.
They're doing great in the circle. The defensive pressure's been fantastic. Once again, Bachelor finishes it off for Wildcats.
So Keshia Grant
Long
back
ball.
on and wing, now on as wing defence for the Wildcats. Nice patience, good feed by Gaffer.
Good split by the girls.
Holding the ball for until that 3rd seconds till Berger opened up. Verve having no option but to go backwards. Pocket ball. Swing pass again to find Mai. Bachelor again. She's really... I thought she went quiet there for a little bit in the 3rd quarter, but she's found that confidence again here in the 4th. She's a bit Maria Tute-Ares because she pops those long balls in and then walks away before it even
She's so
goes
calm
into the
for
net.
such a young player, isn't she? She's
Siggy Berger responds with a mid-range shot.
just a little bit too late.
Yeah. So they're not having the access into Adams, so Riley Bachelor being the one that's having to take the shots, but it's not phasing her at all. Strong front position by Siggy Berger. Nice contact call, so nice easy one under the post.
Some unhappiness from the bench I can hear down there.
Good pressure here by the Bull Sharks. Bachelor in her favourite position. Not willing to take the ball that time.
No, they're usually the ones she puts up quite cleanly, aren't they? There we go.
She has been doing some miles in that circle this quarter. She just keeps running, front cut. Great long ball down by Houston. Strong take by Siggy Berger. She passes the ball. Umpire just asking the defenders to set the penalty. Houston just trying to clarify what's going on there. So 5 minutes remaining, 48 all. Are you willing to pick it at this stage,
I don't
Troy?
know. No. I think we're going to be even coming down to the last minute.
Yeah, well, Wildcats have had a draw already this season with the Cougars in the first round. I think Bull Sharks would almost be happy walking away with the draw. Of course, they'd like the win, but against...
Yeah, they haven't, I don't think they've had too many wins, so...
No, that's right.
It's probably a nice feeling to... Because this Wildcats team is a good team on paper, so to come out and be able to play this well against them must give their coach a lot of hope for the second half of the season. And the draw.
That was an excellent play by Oxenford. She had Siggy Berger open, but I mean, Nisa
I'm
was
just
there.
waiting. Oh, look at that. That one's a tough one. It's when the old toss-up would have been great, wouldn't it?
Oh, as an umpire, I don't think I'd ever call a toss-up now. Not at this time, not with 3.5 minutes left to play.
I remember spending many minutes of training practicing the toss-ups in the old days, but yeah, not anymore. They're gone. Do you ever see them called anymore?
I've had one called, yes. I did see one earlier on in the men's grand final, actually, down at Nationals, so that was very interesting.
It's not something that they even practice anymore, the girls.
No, I don't. The umpire on court didn't really know what to do. So it was very interesting. But here we go, 3 minutes left to play. The bench is very excited. Bull Sharks with the possibility to...
They keep having their centre pass and going up by one, and then Wildcats working hard to draw even again.
Batcheldor not wanting to take a shot unless she's in that kind of range. Adams has not put up a ball in about 10 minutes, I reckon.
No, Batcheldor's been doing it all, hasn't she?
Bull Sharks need to remain calm here. Oxenford moves down the court, trying to get deep.
Open up.
This defensive pressure is great across the transverse line. Berger out, no shooter in. There's not a whole lot of options. Just going to say good work by the Wildcats to not give a contact away. Oh, great work there by Burns to get nice and close.
To go up by one again. Oh, here we go. Last 2 minutes.
Bull Sharks doing everything they can to try and force that turnover. Good pressure. Adams not wanting to take a ball. No. Overcooked pass. Bull Sharks, opportunities. Bench. Berger. Overcooked.
There's been a few of those this game, hasn't there?
Excitement erupting here. Crowd getting right behind their teammates. The Bull Shark bench screaming at their players. Footwork calls. That's a...
On Verve. I think I've ever seen too many footwork calls on her. Yeah.
Well, the pressure gets to the best of players, I think.
Doesn't it?
So patience here by Oxenford. Good to see. Berger comes out. They're
Wildcats
all
making him work hard. Look at it. It's fantastic defense.
They know they've got the centre pass after this. If they can just play the ball, great job by Oxenford. That experience of Siggy Berger really coming into play there. So excellent work. And now they've got the centre pass.
I think I'll call it now. Well done.
Good patient play. 40 seconds remaining. Berger comes out. The turnover. Oh, and it is over a third. Grant didn't have a choice there.
Look, I just jinxed him, didn't I?
Oh, Coles jumps out of court. They need to bleed the clock.
She's being smart here. It's
a throw in. 20 seconds. Batcheldor needs to shoot. Bounces out. 12 seconds. I think you're safe, Troy Pollock. I think you're safe.
They throw it around.
Yes,
oh,
there it is, Mesa. So Bull Sharks celebrate like it's a grand final win, but it's pretty close for them. They've won. They haven't had a lot of success this season. They've won the game. They've come from behind. And good on them. Against a team like the Wildcats, this is a huge success for them, particularly going into the second half of the season.
It is. It signals that they could be a threat to some of the more fancy teams. So Berger's introduction to their team has helped them out immensely.
Yeah, I'm really thrilled for her because, and for the Bull Sharks, I guess, she just showing her a bit of depth and a bit of experience there, because, you know, her shooting percentage was fantastic. The feeders found her quite well throughout the game. And then Oxenford's captaincy, I think, is been tremendous for these girls. So I'm so proud of them, and the crowd is definitely stoked for them as well. And they've announced themselves on the Sapphire series, so they've shown the potential all season. So it's great that they've put together 60 minutes.
Coach put together some great combinations out there today that have worked well together too. So that probably gives her a bit of promise for the future.
Yeah, I think she's found those connections, which are fantastic. So there's confirmations of the scores from round 7. The Bond University Bull Sharks getting the victory over the QUT Wildcats by 2 goals, 53-51, and sharing the bonus points as well. Jets obviously getting the win earlier on, and then yesterday the Queen of Leagues Club Tigers a dominating win over the Northern Rays. So bit of a few surprises, potentially a few shake-ups on the ladder this week as we're at the midway mark of the competition. So round 7 rounds to go. What have you thought of the Sapphire series at the midway point, Troy?
Oh, it's been fantastic. It's we've built it up to be the superior Queensland competition, and it's definitely shaped up to be that, with the introduction of international players to strengthen some licence holders, and the use of local great talent. It's coming along quite nicely, and it's hopefully it'll see Queensland netball go ahead in leaps and bounds, and become quite dominant across Australia, hopefully.
Yeah, well, a match like that today, I guess, really shows how exciting this competition can be. You know, we've had those internationals on the court with Lenora Misa and Siggy Berger, and that was one of the most interesting competitions, I think, on the court out there. As we have a look at the stats for the game, geez, very close throughout the game. Centre pass conversion, 78% apiece. Turnovers, only one in it. Turnover conversion, 1%. And the shooting percentage, really the only thing that's slightly different. So the Bull Sharks getting up on that. So great win for Bond University Bull Sharks. And as we said, very much looking forward to their second half of their season. Well, thank you, Troy Pollock, for joining me here in commentary for the second game. It's been a pleasure to chat to you.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure to share the microphone with you.
So we hope you enjoy the rest of your Sunday night as we bid you farewell from the Queensland State Netball Centre and the HART Queensland Sapphire Series. Good night.
Good night, everyone.